Hey everybody, for those of you who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now before we get going, I'm going to ask you all if you can stay off of this stage area here. This way nobody blocks the display and it gives me a little bit of room to do the whole hosting thing, right? I'm also going to direct your attention to that menu wheel in your lower left. You're going to notice that there is a microphone icon on the very top of it. When that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear what's happening in your so like, maybe you got like a dog in the background that starts barking. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn that to red, right? See, it's already been done, thank you. And turn that to red this way, if your dog starts barking like that, you're not gonna face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time, right? Now, just because you're muted doesn't mean you can't express yourself. You can and should use this pink cheek smiley face that's in your emoji wheel, right there in your menu wheel. When you press it, your emoji wheel opens up in front of you, and you're gonna have a lot of options to express yourself. Some of you already know how to use this, that's cool. But if you feel something real deep, you start feeling it building up inside, right? All of a sudden, you can just let it out, just let it flow like that, right? If maybe you've got some backup dancers that come out from backstage there, and we break into It's Quest Time the musical, and you're very impressed. You can throw up the applause I live for like that, and just take a moment to drink that all in. Right now, if maybe I ask you a yes or no question, you could say yes by smiling like that. You could say no by frowning like that. If I say something funny, you can do this like silly faced emoji to show me that you're laughing. That's always cool. And let's say that maybe now this is not to ask a question, it's to get my attention. Let's say something goes wrong, like maybe this display is bursting into flames. That already that happened one time because my mods have a really good sense of humor. Speaking of which, thank you for helping out today, Jessica, Hummingbird, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Now, before we head out, because today is going to be about, we generally talk about how the Oculus Quest performs in Altspace for Quest users, but all are welcome. So if you're on a device, feel free to hang. This way, you can pick up some information that can help growing Quest community, because we got a lot of new Quest users coming in. And, we're mainly going to talk about how the Quest performs in Altspace and some things you can do to enhance that experience. Now, before we get going, let me get an idea how I should proceed, okay? So I'm going to see some of these emojis for how many of you are actually on a Quest right now? All right, let me see some smileys, some hand raises, some indication that you're on a quest. Okay, I see a few people, a few of you are on a quest. All right, how many of you are not on a quest, but you're thinking about getting one? Or maybe like you're upgrading from a Go to a quest, you're still in that process. I see a hand up there, a couple of people. All right, not all quest users today, that's cool. All right, so how many of you are new to Altspace? You've recently joined Altspace, and this is like still kind of new for you. All right, cool, we got one, two, okay, so a few people. Welcome to Altspace. That's great. How many of you are not familiar with the with the Oculus Quest controls? Everybody's comfortable with that? Smiley faces, hand raises, some kind of feedback there. All right, we got a small crowd today, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unmute. I'm going to ask you directly if how do you want to proceed? I got normally like a presentation that I do. We don't have to do that. We can just take questions about the quest, and I can go that way. How do you guys want to do this? All right, let me see some hearts if you want me to do the normal routine, right? Or if you want to see some smiles if you just want to do a question and answer type thing. Let me see. Oh, this is good. I'm actually not seeing the emojis. Oh, there we go. It's the delay. All right, so it's hearts for the usual routine. All right, looks like more of you are wanting the question and answer type stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a the raise hand button appear as if by magic. We can do that right like that. Here we go. Very cool. All right, now you're going to see a raise hand button has appeared in your lower right. You press this, you can ask a question. Give me the floor. You can just press that raise hand button on that, and you get on my list, and we'll take your questions. There's not going to be any questions, and I'm going to have to change course here and go into the usual routine because pauses are the natural enemy of an Altspace host. It's true. I'm not seeing anybody appear on my list here. So the people that voted for the question and answer style, do you actually have questions? Because that would kind of make your vote be like, hey, why'd you vote for that if you don't actually have the question? You don't have a question? That's good to know, Alex. Cool. All right. Well, actually, we see somebody has appeared on the list. Let's see who we have. Oh, and then they disappeared. They pressed the button and they went away. Okay. All right. So we'll just we'll do the usual bit. That's cool. We'll go in. Go do that whole deal. Okay. Let's see here. All right. Okay. Let's do the whole thing. All right. Now, when I first came to the Quest, I came from an Oculus Go, right? And when I did, I had this, I was very focused on getting a left hand, right? Because on the go, all you had was just one hand, and for many months, waving around that one hand. Yeah, I've been waving around this one hand. And I was very focused on getting this second hand, right? And let's see, Jessica, below you, below you. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody. So you were, we were very focused on getting that left hand there, and I'm, focused on that because I grew up in Brooklyn. I'm used to talking with my hand a lot, right? And I felt as though, I couldn't, I express myself as fully as I could, right? So, as I'm doing that, doing that, and I'm focused on getting those hands back, right? I realized that these hands are so much more, right, than just your hands. They're also your feet, how you move around, they're how you interact with the environment. And if you're here today, you already know the left thumbstick's going to move you around like this. The right thumbstick's going to make you do these turns, right? But if you combine them, you can do these big, elaborate circles that make my presentations so much more dramatic. Can everybody do that? Can everybody make these big circles, right? When you do this, right, you go into these big circles here like that. When I look out from the stage, it looks like you guys are doing this like ballroom dancing type thing. It looks really cool. And I always say, like, I wish people could see what I see when I look out and I see everybody doing this. Now it turns out you can, because we got a YouTube channel a few weeks ago. We record these. So, you can check out on YouTube. You can look in the audience and see if you can see yourself. Matter of fact, you can turn around right now. Right there, you'll see Ravenhall up there, and that's the camera. You want to wave out to YouTube and say hello to everybody? You absolutely can. That's totally cool. And just keep waving like that, right? Very cool. Very good. All right. So let's see here. Now, if you, let's see, now when you first look at these controls, right, these are a lot of buttons. It can be a bit much because, they really are a lot of them. And believe it or not, you can get used to them in just a few days, maybe a week or so. In the beginning, it can be a little overwhelming, all those buttons, right? It's a lot to take in. That's why I like to go over this stuff if everybody's comfortable with, with these controls. And the way we're going to do this is you notice on your right controller, you have this grip button here, and this left controller, you have this grip button here. This is going to allow you to interact with your environment in Altspace. So it's going to allow you to grab sparklers, basketballs. It's going to allow you to interact with the world editor. You can switch items back and forth from hand to hand like this. It allows you to fidget while you're talking to your friends like that. And if you're doing this with the world editor, it's actually going to change the behavior of your right thumbstick. While you're holding an item in the world editor, when you move your thumbstick now, it's not going to turn you anymore, right? You move your right thumbstick from left to right, it's going to change the size or the scale of the object. If you move it forward or back, it's going to push the object away or pull it closer to you, right? It's important to keep that in mind, right? Now you also have, while these are a lot of buttons, it's important to keep in mind that some of these buttons do the same thing, all right? Like this select button here and this right trigger button here, right? They both do the same thing. And if you have your left pointer enabled, this select button on your left controller, it does the same thing. Well, if you hold down any one of those buttons right now and you move your hand around the room, you're going to see, that this is Braden here. You'll see people's name tags above their head. You'll see this is Alex. You've got Embryon here. You got Sarah. You got Buck Voice. You got Joe. You got old guy here who's not doing so well on the railing right there. And you got 3 pieces of soda coming in. You got a bunch of people arriving. You got Carmen. You got Jay. You got Rex. You got Dre. You got so you have. You'll be able to see everybody's name tag by doing that. All you got to do is move your hand around like that, and you'll see them pop up like that, right? Now, also, you have on the Quest, you need to worry about vertical movement, all right? Now, first time I came on the Quest, I went to the campfire to check it out, right? And I'm walking around, and I'm feeling like I'm walking on air, and then I found out why. I looked down, it turns out I'm floating this high off the ground. Right? Now this can happen on the Quest. If somebody's willing to change their vertical height, if you're willing to get up a little high for me or willing to scooch down, Braden, that's awesome. Thanks. Show everybody what happens when you press down on the left thumbstick. Right? Just show down what happens. Boom. Just like that. So if you find you feel you're too tall or you're too short in Altspace, all you have to do is press down on that left thumbstick and it's going to adjust your vertical height. All right, very quickly. It's a pretty good thing to know. Now, if you're having like a room scale experience, it's every so often you're going to walk out past that main menu button on your lower left. And it's like every time that happens, somebody's going to tell you to open your main menu. And you're going to be like, and you're going to look around, you're like, where is it now? And it's always like behind you, right? So what you can do is, remember that in your left controller there, right? You always have the main menu in your hand at all times. This flat button right here, that's your main menu button. You press that, your main menu is going to open. If you press it again, your main menu will close, right? So if you're looking around all the time for your main menu, where is that blue button gone to now? You'll look around in there. All you have to do is press that button and you'll have your main menu appear in front of you, right? Let's see what else we have here. We also have when you teleport around Altspace, you have a teleport button on your right controller, right there, and on your left control. You have both of them, right? So what you do is, I'm hoping you're in a line dash teleport, because it's a great transition. It feels like you're flinging yourself, or it feels like a zip line. It's a really great way to move around. And if you hold down one of these teleport buttons, let's say on your right control, if everybody lines up against this wall, we can try it out. You hold down that right teleport button, and you'll see a circle. If you aim it at the floor, you see that circle. That's where you're going to throw yourself to, right? So if we aim it across to that other wall, as soon as we let go of the button, boom, we get flung right across the room, right? And, everybody come on over here like that, right? Now, if you hold down the left teleport button and we aim back to the wall we just came from, right? And as soon as we let go of the button, boom, we get flung across the room just like that. It's fun. Now, what you could also do is you can make an X on the floor with them. And if you let go at the same time, you do this like zigzag kind of a teleport. And you didn't really see it go that time. We'll try it again. Let's zigzag, just like that. It's pretty awesome. The first time I did this, I was at the Universe, and back then the world they were in, having it was like, really big. It was large. When the event was over, I went around exploring to see, all the details of the world. And I walk up to the world edge, right? And as soon as I did, I walk up to the edge just like that, right? And, I went a little too far, and I fell off the edge of the world, right? And I started falling. And I'm like, I'm in trouble now, right? And I look over, and I see there's this cliff, right? As I'm falling, I reach out with my controller, I aim my teleporter, and I let go of that button, and boom, I was on that cliff before I could, respawn, right? So I saved myself from getting respawned. It's not like any damage will actually, you can't really get hurt in Altspace, but, I was able to avoid that. Right. And at that point, I knew I was getting used to the controls. Like I said, it takes a couple of days to a week. Carmen, I see you have a question. We'll be taking them at the end. All right. So just hang on to that. All right. And you get used to it after. And at that point, because after a while, you don't think about the buttons anymore. It's just a reflex. Like if I say, hey, everybody look at that window over there, I'm not thinking about how to point. And if you don't know how to do that, if you hold down the third finger on your controller, on that side button there, that grip button, it'll cause you to point, right? You make like a threatening gesture to the audience, like better be a good audience, say, right? You go like that, right? Now, if you hold down your left grip button as well, now you got two of them just like this, and you give me a Brooklyn hello. Everybody go like this, and Brooklyn hello, be like, how you doing? And some of that, how you doing? Oh, that's beautiful. I love seeing that. You can put them together up on high like this, and you can make the Altspace logo, right? Or maybe we can make a picture like this, right? Then we can maybe squeeze our trigger button, and like click it, make this moment last forever, just like that, right? Now, this is basically how you pick up these hand gestures. When you see somebody doing something cool, like if you hold down your grip button, your trigger button, right? On both hands, you got two thumbs up. Tell me I'm doing a good job. You give me them two thumbs up. Maybe I'm not doing so good, right? Got kind of a slow start today. Give me two thumbs down. Be like, you know what? I'm not far as shining, so you right? You can maybe do this, right? A couple weeks ago, I saw somebody go like this, right? Or, maybe just like a whole bird thing like that, right? And if you touch your thumbs while you're holding grip and your index finger down, you got the two thumbs up. If you touch on the buttons there, you just gotta, push, you just touch down. You don't even push down, you just touch them, and they just keep going down like that. And you can kind of combine this into like a, cool dance move, right? Actually, I'm told this is not as cool as it feels, but it feels like I'm doing a good job doing this. Let me see, anybody else can do this? Anybody else doing it? Let me see how that looks. Oh yeah, look at that. That does look cool. That's awesome. All right, yeah, very nice. Good job, Alex. Cool. All right, so, basically, listen, when you see people in Altspace making these gestures, if you like what you see, the best way to learn it is by mirroring them. Basically copy them, so you practice with your friends, and you just get better, and after a while, your body language gets more and more convincing, and you don't think about, how to make all these gestures. They become automatic after a while. All right. Now let's see what else we have here. We have another important button we're going to talk about, and that is wait, did I cover this? This left trigger here, right? This left trigger is important too, because as I'm walking along like this, if I hold down the left trigger, I'm going to go faster. This also works when you're flying too. I can maybe run out, do a lap around the room. Everybody give me like a whirlpool. Let's get a whirlpool going here. Unless you're getting dizzy, if you get dizzy, don't do this. Just stop, right? Well, let me see everybody move like this, right? Maybe we'll get a little tornado going here. Let me see how that feels. I'm gonna go up back on stage, see how it looks. Keep it going, keep it going. Let me see. Oh, that looks cool. All right, liking that. Not quite a whirlpool, but it's looking pretty good. Anybody getting dizzy yet? If you're getting dizzy, maybe don't do that thing, right? Am I right? Okay. Let me show you what else we got here. Now, there's another button. This one's pretty important, all right? And don't press it now, because if you disappear, right, I'm going to feel it deep down. It's going to hurt me inside, right? But we got this right button here. When you press this, you get thrown out to the Oculus main menu. That's why I like to think of this as an eject button, right? This is now, if you press this by accident, the menu you get thrown to, that Oculus main menu, you can have a choice to quit or resume. If you resume, you get back, right back into Altspace, no big deal, right? But if something goes wrong, right? This is a great button to push, right? Because let's say you're in Altspace and you move your head and the whole world moves with you, right? When that happens, it can make you feel kind of sick, kind of dizzy. It's not a great sensation, right? And it's a good button to press. Or maybe it's something, maybe not like that. Maybe it's like somebody comes into your space and says, "Hey, dinner's ready. Got some pizza rolls waiting for you," right? And you're like, "Oh, you better press that button." It's the fastest route out of Altspace. All right, so think of that flat button on the bottom of your right controller as your eject button, right? And it's great to press it when things go wrong. Now, there are going to be times when this doesn't work. Like, let's say, you look up and you see there's a black void on the edge of your screen, and you look down, left, right, there's black voids all around the edges, and your friends are all like this, and it's frozen, right? And your devices become frozen, and you basically, even pressing that flat button won't do anything. All right. And in the event of this, you're going to need to restart your headset. Now, a lot of people will take their headset off to restart it. I don't like doing this because there are times when your headset's not in a charge cycle and you go to plug it in and the light doesn't come on, and it takes a really long time for your headset to restart. It's like 20-something seconds, and if you're in a rush, this 20-something seconds, that can last forever. So I find it pays to restart your headset while it's still on your head, right? So what you're going to do, right, is all you do is you take your index finger like this, right, and, move it up and down the side of your headset till you feel that power button, right? Don't do this now, but you'll feel like power button right there. Then what you do is you take this finger, right, and you push it against here, and you squeeze your fingers together, right, to create a pressure, and it'll hold down that button, right? It'll hold it down for 4 seconds. Your device will turn off, but don't let go. Now, what's really cool is I saw me doing this yesterday on video at the SDK meetup. I had a technical problem where I had to, restart my headset. What's cool about this is I found out by watching that video, this looks like I'm concentrating really hard, right? And then my avatar disappears, but I'm not letting go. My headset's turned off. All I see is a black screen. 10 seconds go by. I start thinking, why did Oculus make it take so long? I don't know. Hey, maybe, 14 seconds go by and I start thinking about friends I used to know years ago. I wonder how they're doing. Maybe 18 seconds go by. I start thinking about the dog I had when I was little. It was a good dog. Tell you what, start thinking about life. I start reflecting. I start thinking about, the big things, the questions. And then about, 22, 24 seconds, somewhere in there, I hear a beep, right? And as soon as I hear that beep and I see the Oculus logo, I just take my fingers away, just like that. And I get right there, the device starts as normal. I restart the app. I come into Altspace, and this is going to solve most of the problems that you're going to have in here, right? But very occasionally something serious could happen, right? And it pays to know about the factory reset. All right, but you have to be warned. If you have any, photographs or any settings on your apps like that, you're going to lose all this. You might even lose like your Beat Saber scores, or if you're in Altspace, you got your blinders turned off. You're going to have to set that up again. You're going to have to re-download all your apps. You won't have to repurpose those apps. You just have to re-download them because this puts the headset back the way it was the day you got it, right? And why would you need to do something like this? Well, I came out of Altspace once and I saw a message that said Oculus Room is closing, right? And I said, okay. Right? Because really that's the only choice they gave me, which is a big blue button that said okay. So I pressed it. Fair warning, if you see that, restart your device immediately. Because if you say okay, what's going to happen is it's going to actually close your Oculus home screen, right? Your main menu. And it doesn't know what to do. It's like, so it sits there and it says loading. And I'm like, okay, all right, just waiting there, 5 minutes go by, it still says loading, and I'm starting to get worried. So I restart my device, just the way I showed you, I keep concentration pose, focus on that reset. And, and then it started, and it still said loading. And I'm like, all right, something's definitely wrong here. So I asked my good friend Google about it, all right? And, Google knows all this stuff, right? Google said a lot of people were having these problems. He asked for you, by the way. And, he told me that, the best thing you can do is a factory reset. So I did a factory reset. It solved it. It works, but you will lose everything. Any photos, any settings, all that's going to go away. All right, now, the thing to do here is remember, now, let's see, the Guardian system on the Quest, you're already familiar with this if you've done the tour. You've danced with the robot, right? You played with the blimp. It's a cool experience, but there are some ways you can use the Guardian system to your advantage. But before I show you how to do this, let me say that, you got to be very careful when you mess with your Guardian, okay? Because like a lot of times in Altspace, you see somebody walking along, they're having a pretty good day, and all of a sudden you see them like that, right? Because they just walked into a wall, right? You don't want to injure yourself. You don't want to damage your equipment. Right. So you basically, you got to be very careful. What I like to do when I mess with my Guardian is I like to lead with my hands. Right. Now, if you get dizzy in Altspace, if you're new to VR, this can happen a lot. And one thing you want to do is look at your hand just like this. You just focus on your hand like that. Right. And when the dizziness passes, you just take away your hand slowly. You take in your environment. You see how you feel. If you're still feeling sick, you should get out of VR. But a lot of times it's going to pass if you do just that thing. Another thing you can do is if you go up to the edge of your Guardian, right, You got your hands out, and all of a sudden you see that grid appear in the air in front of you. You can still touch your thumbsticks, right? So while standing still against my real world wall, I got a wall right here, right in front of the audience, where I got this wall. And what I can do is I can move my thumbsticks around. I can still move around in VR, even though in the real world I'm standing still. And what I can do is I can line up this display here, right, with my real world wall. This gives me a frame of reference, okay? So let's say, I'm going, wow, that display looks really great. And I go a little bit too far, and I fall off the stage. Oh no, I'm in the audience, and the audience gets hostile, right? You all, turn on me, you come at me, try to make me dizzy. Go ahead, mess with me. Go ahead, get it all out. Just mess with me, just hit me in the face, whirl around me. Go ahead, give me your best shot. All right, you see, the thing of it is I can still see that display. Even when you block my vision, I look up, I see that, and I can lock onto it. That's my anchor to the real world. So nothing you guys can do can make me dizzy, because I can frame a reference, I can connect to it, So if you're getting dizzy like that, that's a great thing to do, is you can actually lock on to a real world object, particularly if you're having a room scale experience, right? It'll make you feel steady when you can connect some part of the real world like that. All right, you could also, switch from a stationary to a stationary experience to a room scale experience pretty effortlessly while you're in Altspace, right? So let's say, I'm hosting this event, and I get tired, I'm like halfway through here, I got a lot of time left, but I'm starting to feel it, I'm getting kind of worn down here, been hosting for a long time, pressure's getting to me. So what I'm gonna do, right, is I'm gonna go up to the edge of my guardian, right? I'm gonna make sure I got enough room to stick my head through, right? I stick my head through, and that pass-through camera goes off, right? And I go, oh, got my coffee right here. That's awesome. I'm gonna take a little bit of that coffee right there. And I notice I got my chair right there, right? So, so what I do is I walk out, and I go into my chair, right? And I sit down right in that chair like that, right? And I got a big blue button in front of me asking me if I want to switch to a stationary experience. I'm like, all right, let me get comfortable first. I sit down, I line up that ring that comes there on the bottom. I hit that blue button, and next thing you know, right? I'm back in, in VR, but I'm also back in Altspace. Turns out I never left, right? And this works in the other direction too. I was moderating an event one time, and as I was moderating, I got the urge to get up and walk around. This is kind of a big deal for me, so I, get up and I think I'm just going to walk into my Guardian, right? But sometimes on the Quest, your Quest can lose your Guardian because changing light levels and the headset can't exactly track where it is in the room, and it's just okay. Just give me a fresh boundary, because it's no big deal for you to paint it, right? But if it's only a couple minutes left in the event, right, and you don't want to disappear on the host, all of a sudden it's a much bigger deal. So I panic. I'm drawing out that boundary. I'm going, oh no, the host is going to be upset. I just flaked out. What am I going to do? I'm just drawing it here, and all of a sudden the loop closes, and that grid comes up out of the ground, and I know VR comes into view, and you know what? I'm still in Altspace. I never left, right? All anybody saw was my hands out like this, frozen. You know what? I did this bit one time, and when I pause like that, right, I go like this, and I actually crashed. And everybody's in the audience like this going, he's so committed to the role. He's just so into it. And then I disappeared, and people realized that I'd actually crashed. Really funny. But yeah, that can happen. But the thing to remember here is that in Altspace, you can transition from a room scale to a stationary experience pretty effortlessly. All right. Now, one of the great things about the Quest is it just works. Right? Now, it just works, and there are some accessories that can improve your experience. And you have, for example, earbuds that hang down from the side. I don't know what it look like in VR, but I know when I wear these things, they're like earrings for your headset, so I think I look fancy when I'm in VR like that. And I had to wait a month for mine to arrive because they're on back order. So I got used to how great the sound was. I'm seeing some frowns coming down, Alex. You had a question? We'll be taking that at the end, just don't worry. So you got this, these earbuds that come down, right? And I go to the campfire and test them. Turns out there's a breeze in the campfire. You guys know that? I didn't know that. I went over to that fence there and heard the water going, right? And I didn't know that was there either. I've been in Altspace for close to a year, and I didn't know there were these sounds there. Turns out there's a lot of ambient sounds in Altspace, right, that can make the experience more immersive, more deep, more rich. It's really just a great experience to come in with the headphones like that, all right? Now, you also have these face inserts, right? Now, listen, I've heard a lot of people say that the Quest is uncomfortable, all right? It's not true, all right? But when you first get it, it absolutely is true, all right? And it turns out, and Oculus doesn't advertise this enough, but there's a breaking in period. It's kind of like, a baseball glove. You got to, condition it, right? With the oils from your face, you'll condition it. Now, when I first got my Quest, I started getting this bruise on my forehead. And I kept coming into VR, and the bruise kept getting worse, right? And I was hosting this event. And I'm like, I'm pointing up at the sky, telling people all the things, many, right? And I'm going, listen to this part here. And all of a sudden, I feel this moisture on my set, right? And I'm like, what is this, right? I know what you're thinking, all right? It's not sweat. Michael Forrest doesn't ever sweat. I just don't do it, right? And I'm like, what is this? What's going on? but I can't stop because, trained professional, right? And, I go, go through the whole motions of the thing. I come out of VR, and as I'm lifting up my headset, my wife comes in the room. She asks me how to go. She's like, showing an interest. She's cool like that. I lift up the headset, and I'm like, well, and she stops me. She goes, go look in the mirror. She did in that voice. It means you pretty much got to do it, right? So I go over there, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm using this column. This is my mirror right here. It's not real reflective. I got to clean it, All right, here we go. Yeah, that's much better. And I see I got these red rings around my eyes, right? And turns out I was actually bleeding into my head. So I know it's super gross. I know it's nasty. People don't like that part of the story. See hummingbirds frowning. She hates the story, right? But I cleaned it real good, I promise. Right? And I ended up with a cool story. I walked around for the next week going, I bled for you, Altspace. And then I do this whole like righteous thing. Can everybody do this? You put your fist like this, right? And toward the sky. You get your voice down low and you go, that's right, Altspace. I bled for you. I mean, really just, really deep there. I was doing that for like a week. People liked it. But I knew I had to do something about this. So I found this company called VR Cover. They make these inserts for your headset, right? Some of them, if they do like the leather one that they got, kind of like a pleathery thing. It helps with light bleed. You see what I did there? Light bleed. Got it? All right. I ended up going with the cloth one, right? That cloth one, it feels like you got a face in a pillow. It's really very comfortable. And they give you two of them. You can, be cleaning one while you're wearing the other. I'm very happy with it. But it came from Thailand, all right? And that means it was going to take a while to get here. I had to wait a week for it. And in that week, the oils in my face, it softened, all right, the insert that comes with the Quest. And I found that it changed the balance, and it became more and more comfortable the more I used it. So eventually you're going to get to a point, right, where you don't feel like you're wearing a headset at all. These are just your eyes. These are just your hands, and you're in here with all of us. And that's kind of the point, right? So if you get tempted because it's uncomfortable when you first get it, if you get tempted to change it with like a counterbalance or an external battery pack or something that changes the balance, maybe different straps or something like that, it's cool to modify it, but give it a week or so first, because if you modify it too early and then your headset gets broken in, it's going to change the balance again, and you're going to walk around telling everybody, oh, the Quest balance is horrible. It's too heavy on my face. And you can tell everybody it's very uncomfortable, and it's really not the case. You just got to let it break in first. And then if it's not comfortable, then you modify it. So give it a couple of weeks of use just to get used to it, okay? If you want to try any of these products, right, we also have got the prescription inserts to protect your lenses and your glasses. You also have this travel case, right? These cases are great, and I'll tell you what, if something happens to your headset, like you leave it out in the sunlight or something like that, it gets damaged, that's the thing about VR though, is if you're in social VR, like you're in Altspace, you make friends in here, right? I'm friends with Hummingbird, right? So, and something happens to my headset, I'm not gonna be able to see her anymore. So this isn't like losing your toaster. This is like losing your social life. So you're gonna experience it as a loss. So please take care of your equipment. It's very important. All right. If you want to try these products, you can find them at, let's see. Okay. I'm getting a text. Wow. Okay. I'll deal with that later. Sorry, guys. It happens when you're up here. Sometimes people text. But yeah, if you want to try these products out, they're easy to find. You go to altvr.com. You're gonna see at the very top. It says, it says channels, right? And when you see channels, see that it has, where you see channels right there, you're going to be taking all the event channels and all. There's all kinds of really good ones. We're on the bottom of like page 2, just buried there, right? But if you click on our event channel, it says Ravenhall events, like it says up the booth, and you click on that, you can take it to our event channel, and on the bottom you got like a join Discord button where you can help us out with our events if you want to. You can, you'll see all these products on the left-hand side. So if you want to try out any one of these, the links are there. It's pretty easy to get to it. There's also the most important button ever. There's a subscribe button, right? That lets Altspace know that you enjoy our content. It makes us feel good when that number goes up. So if you could press that, subscribe button, it'll help a lot. You're shaking your head, no, Carmen. It does too make us feel good. We enjoy it. Does. I enjoy. Well, you know what? I know what makes me feel good. And if you guys press the subscribe button, it makes me feel good. It does upset Carmen, though. It will. It will. If you don't, if you got something against Carmen, right? See, she admits it. That subscription button goes up. You're going to upset Carmen. Don't do it. All right. All right. So I take it all back. Don't press the subscribe button. Whatever you do, don't press it. All right. All right. Listen, we are going to be taking your questions right now and your comments and suggestions. Never to find out why Carmen's so upset. All right. If you press that raised hand button, we're going to see your name appear on the list. See, I already get Carmen. Okay, cool. Carmen, what's got you down? You're on the air. What's going on? What's going on, Carmen?
Goodness. After everything you just said, right? I
Yeah.
forgot how to like turn and stuff, and
Okay.
I forgot how to change my height,
You're changing height.
which
Okay.
is
Well, it
really
looks to me
hard
like you're
to
not on
do.
a Quest. It looks like to me you're on an Oculus Go. All right.
Yeah.
On an Oculus Go, you don't need to worry about your vertical height at all, right? And if you find yourself moving, all right, I normally cover this in go time, but since Carmen's so upset, we're going to give it to her. All right, if you find yourself moving in a way you don't want to, here's all you got to do. All right, you know that trackpad, what you got your thumb on, right? Without pushing down, very gently swipe your thumb from right to left, right? And as soon as you get to the other side, lift it in the air, cross over to the other side, come down, and swipe again. So you go swipe, 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 and then move in the direction you want to go, and that'll fix it. Okay?
What? Oh my
But
God.
why do you get so upset if people click
Yeah.
the subscribe button? We need to know. Okay.
Okay. First off,
Uh-huh.
I know they deserve credit for everything they've done, but my
Okay.
experience, the first time I came here, so like, I don't think I would press the subscribe button because first day
Okay.
I came in Outspace,
Yeah.
everybody was fighting, screaming, and it was in the campfire that November.
I don't ever go to the campfire. Was that me? Was that us? The events we do?
Oh, yeah,
It was.
there
But
was
we're
a
never
lot
in the
of fights
campfire.
going
We
on.
don't we don't do the campfire. That's not us. Okay. Well, you know, you're
Yeah,
entitled
but
to feel that way. That's cool. You know. I don't want to get to everybody here. We got, Roberto has a question. Let's see if we can get Roberto up here. Let's see, Roberto. What's your question or your comment or your suggestion? Yeah, Allspace can be a bit to get used to. It's true.
Can
Give
you
it
hear
some
me
time.
now?
You like it? Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, Roberto? What's your question?
Wait, so I have a
Um,
question about the prescription lenses.
yeah. Okay. What about it?
So I wear glasses currently, so can I use that with glasses or would I need to have prescription figures?
There's a spacer that comes with your Quest, and you stick that spacer in there, and it'll make room for your glasses. But even if you don't wear glasses, I recommend using it. I find it more comfortable with the spacer in there. It's like this little thin strip. But the prescription inserts that makes it so you don't have to wear your glasses. You don't have to worry about your glasses rubbing up against the lenses of your headset. This way, you won't scratch your glasses or you won't scratch the lenses of your headset. All right, it'll keep both of them safe and maybe it'll give you a little more comfortable while you have it on. It'll allow you to see more clearly, which is a good thing, if you need to. But that glasses spacer works good too because the prescription inserts, they are a little bit on the expensive side. All right, so you might want to wait before you try that out. And it's nice to have the option, so you can do either one of those, and that'll work great. Listen, before we head out, I want to show you guys one more thing. All right, a quick question: how many of you guys have tried? Let me see, show of hands. Have you tried the Ravenhall Talon yet? All right, we come up with this at the end of our events. We take everybody flying, right? And we made this thing where you guys can fly it. You want to come check it out? We're going to head on over, like we do at the end of all our events, teach you guys to fly to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. And if you have any more questions or comments, we're going to take them there. But before we do, I want to say, listen, if you've learned anything here today, right? Like apparently that the campfire is bad. Carmen had a bad experience in there. Sometimes that can happen, right? You got like, if maybe you're in a campfire, all right, or somewhere else, all right, and you see like an avatar stuck in the ground, and you walk up to them, and you're like, what's wrong? And they look up at you and they go, I'm on a quest and I'm stuck in the ground. And apparently I'm grabbing lasers. I hope I didn't hit anybody with that. Whoa. Okay. I'm going to put this, you know what? I'm going to get rid of this. This is very dangerous. Okay. It's gone. All right. All you do is you tell them to press down on that left thumbstick, right? They'll pop up and they'll feel better, right? You'll feel better because you help somebody. And that's how we keep this Altspace thing going, by helping each other out. Right. And then maybe we can prevent, a bad experience like what happened to Carmen. We can maybe prevent that from happening to somebody else. And that's a good thing. All right, everybody, we're going to head on out. We're going to do it to music. So if you can move, I want to see your best move as we're going in that blue light in the back door. We head on to that load screen. We're going to come out the other side, at the Ravenhall Flight Academy. We try flying one of them drones. All right, buddy, let's move. See you next time. Thank you for coming. You're a great audience. Here we go. Into the blue light.